Okay, so here we'll be solving cylindrical flow in a pipe. It's having water. It's flowing in the z direction. And in these two areas you have solid liquid interfaces. There's no annulus and there's no contact with the gas liquid. This is just the basic cylindrical pipe model. So let's say velocity, sorry about that, Vz is a function of r, because of the no slip conditions. The velocity profile will look something like this, the maximum being here. So let's do a mass balance here by taking a small unit. Take a small cylinder inside. With a width of delta r. So if you're looking from the top, it looks like this, which is this area. And the circumference would be 2 pi r and the width would be delta r. So now what we can do is let's do the momentum balance across this. So here you have z is equal to 0 and z is equal to L. So the convective force while doing balance, the rate of momentum transfer due to the conventional transport at z is equal to 0, across z is equal to 0, is equal to the area of this 2 pi r into delta r into phi. Now here it's both z, it's in the z direction, and across z at z is equal to 0. And what's accepting is ROM, z is equal to L 2 pi r delta r, same area at the bottom as well, phi zz, z is equal to L. And now you have the rate of momentum transfer at r, and this would be, let's take a view from the cross-sectional side. If you're viewing like this, basically just looks like. So over here, what you need to do is understand the cross-sectional area of this, which is basically 2 pi r and L. So this is 2 pi r L into 5, and now it's r. So shear stress, sorry, the momentum at r. So at r is equal to r. And it's now once that's also positive. At r plus delta r, that would be 2 pi. Now here you can just write r plus delta r, but since delta r is very small, you can just consider again as 2 pi r. L phi r z, r is equal to r plus delta r. And finally the last is your gravitational coefficient, sorry, the gravitational force. So when you take the gravitational component as well, you just have to take the entire volume of this. It's 2 pi r delta r L, that into rho would give the mass, that into the acceleration of gravity would give you the gravitational force. So based on this, you will be able to get the mass balance. Now we are just going to divide the entire one with 2 pi delta r L. The reason for that is r is not constant, r is varying. So let's divide it by 2 pi delta r L and see what happens. So in the first term you have your phi z minus, sorry, z is equal to 0 minus phi zz at z is equal to L whole divided by L into r. Now here you put everything else on the right hand side. So the reason for that is if you move this onto the right hand side, what you will get is, okay, I'll just first do it all on one side and then I can explain it to you. So you just have here, you will just have rho g r plus, here you have just delta r by delta r, so it's rz at r minus phi rz at r plus delta r whole divided by delta r. Now here what we can do is you can take this to the other side. So I'm taking this to the other side, the equation will become, I'm just going to Okay. So it becomes R phi Rz R plus delta R minus R phi Rz by R by delta R is equal to Z is equal to 0 minus phi ZZ Z is equal to L plus rho G and by R. So we just move this term to the left hand side so that you can get R plus delta R. So on taking limit of R, so it becomes dr, this is just R Rz. Now this is equal to Z is equal to 0 minus phi ZZ at Z is equal to L by L plus rho G plus R. Now here this is a combined momentum flux, so this can be written as there's no pressure term here, no pressure difference, so it's just tau Rz plus Rz into Vr into Vz. And similarly here there is a pressure term, so it becomes V Zz is equal to P plus Zz plus sigma Vz. So here this term gets cancelled out because you know velocity in Z is a function of R and not of Z, so this term gets cancelled out. There's no change for the factor of rho ZZ at Z is equal to 0 and Z is equal to L. It's cancelled out, so just P and just P. You can take the rho G also inside, and here is cancelled out because V was Z. So this is just tau. So on rewriting this equation, it will be by R to Rz by dr is equal to, so here you can have P plus rho G 0 minus P plus rho G L all divided by L. You still have your R outside. Now this can be written as dou R T R Z by delta R. This is just P0 minus PL by L all into R. So this P0 term is just for simplification, where you just take in the pressure plus the gravitational distance, so just added both. Okay, and now you have this. Let's start doing the integration. So R to Z would give you P0 minus PL R square by 2L plus C1. So or RTZ is equal to P0 minus PL R by 2L plus C1 by R. But we know at R is equal to 0, TRZ must be finite. So if it must be finite, you put 0 here, you get TRZ cannot be infinity. So that means C1 has to be 0. So you can just say TRZ is equal to P0 minus PL R by 2L. This is the first part. Okay, so now let's continue with this. And we know what TRZ is. It's basically VZ by dou R is equal to P0 minus PL by 2L R. So here you can just bring that to the left hand side, minus P0 minus PL 2 nu L into R, and just integrate this. Vz is equal to minus P0 minus PL by 2 nu L by R square 4 nu L plus, and here you will have the constant C2. Here what we do know is that Vz at boundary, Vz at R is equal to R should be equal to 0 due to the solid liquid interface and there's no slip condition. So here what we can say is Vz is equal to minus Vz is equal to 0 P0 minus PL R square, and here becomes square by 4 nu L. So now you have the value for C2. Just putting this back into the equation, you will get Vz is equal to P0 minus PL by 4 nu L is equal to R square minus R square. And this can be, if you take the R square out, this is just 1. Sorry about that. Just 1 by R squared. And this is similar to what we have observed also in the previous video when we have done it. And this is how you get the solution for the Vz. And now let's find for the average velocity. So how to find the average velocity is you integrate the whole thing and divide it by the area. In a second. Okay. Let's do the average velocity, but let's first do the maximum velocity. So to get the maximum of this, you just have to differentiate Vz scaled by dr, which should be equal to 0. And on solving this, what you'll get is 2r by r is equal to 0, or at r is equal to 0 gives a maximum velocity, which makes sense. Okay, now let's do it for average velocity. So the average velocity we said can be stated as 0 to L, 0 to R, this should be VR, dr, dz, sorry, d theta, sorry about that, it's the previous problem. Okay, similarly this divided by 0 to pi, 0 to R, dr, d theta. And this would give us P0 minus PL by 8 nu L R square, which is actually half Vz max. Now to get the mass flow of this, you can just multiply average Vz into volume, cross-sectional area into density. So you already know the cross-sectional area, that's just 2 pi RL. And you know the volumetric flow, and you know the density. So when you multiply all of these together, you will get and this was actually for the shear part, sorry about that. Here the cross-sectional area, this velocity x would be 2 pi r into r, but that's for this segment. So same thing, the cross-sectional area for our entire cylinder would be the cross-sectional area for the entire cylinder, so that would be pi r square. I'm sorry, capital R square. This is just pi r square into rho into Vz average. And on solving this, you get W is equal to pi P0 minus PL, R is to 4 by into 8 by nu L. And this makes sense because it's basically you're doing is meter per second, which is your velocity, that into your area, which is your meter square, and that by your density is kilogram per meter cube. So when you solve it, you get kilograms per second, which is the mass flow rate. And similarly, when you're doing it for to find the z component of the force, so that's basically just going to be your cross-sectional area across is basically in the z direction, which is 2 pi r L, that into tau rz at r is equal to capital R. So on solving this, you will be able to get pi r square P0 minus PL, and this can be further written down by expanding what P0 minus PL is. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next problem.